In this video, we'll be talking about basic functions of the fire alarm panel. That's a conventional panel, as we discussed in other videos, when we discuss how we wire those and how they're connected and what the rules regarding that. So that I say two basic functions of each fire alarm panel, especially the conventional one, maybe three. So one function is that you detect faults. You detect faults on your detection zones. You detect faults on your sounders or sirens, however you call them. So those devices which make noise when the alarm goes off. And second function is obviously raise an alarm when the fire is detected. Fire will be detected either automatically by triggering one of the smoke detectors or heat detectors, or maybe also triggered manually by pressing a brake glass unit, which is called manual call point. So first, detecting faults. I didn't say it, there's another type of fault which is mains fault or battery fault. Both will cause basically power supply fault on this panel, and there's no separate for battery, I think. Repeater system, yes, there's just a general power supply fault. So either it's mains or battery, it will cause the same type of fault. And the third function is to send a signal to monitoring station, which is to trigger an output on this device. And then in a small installation, usually this output is connected to the intruder, and intruder sends signal to monitoring station, or you can call it alarm receiving center, through their communication device. Typically fire alarms don't have a communication device. Doesn't mean they cannot, just that's general practice in Ireland and probably UK. So these are those three functions: noticing the fault and notifying about it, raising alarm when the one of the detectors is triggered or manual call point, and the third, sending communication by basically triggering the output. So let's see how that works. As you can see, there's a nice green light. When fire panel is working properly and there's no faults, no alarms, it should be only that green light here, nothing else. When there's a fault, there will be a orange, let's call it orange light. One of those indicators will be shown. One of those LEDs will be triggered. To access controls on this fire panel, you have to have a key, and you turn it to position 1, and then it says accessed, so it means you can press those buttons here. Three main buttons which any regular user will be using is silencing, what's it called here, internal sounder. So there's internal beeper, the buzzer, however you call it, which will be beeping when the fault is on. One of the faults will show up. So you can silence that, just that way you do not restore the fault, you just acknowledge the fact that you know. When the alarm goes off, main fire alarm, one thing you do usually is silence the sounders. Obviously you don't want to silence the sounders when it's the real fire, but there's no fire and you're just investigating, so you can silence the sounders by pressing that button. And then you, let's say somebody accidentally pressed one of those, so you then go to that and restore the setting on this, and then you can use reset button. So this is the white one here is silencing internal sounders. The red one is silencing external sounders. So I don't have connected real external sounders. because they make a lot of noise. But I have connected a pseudo siren like that. It's not making that much noise, but still it will be making additional noise except beeping in the panel. So this is my external sounder. So this will go off when the alarm go off, and this will silence when I press silence sounders. So these are external silence or sounders or beacons, because they could be also visual. You silence them with that. But once everything okay, but you still have to reset the panel. You reset the panel when after the fault, which was fixed, or after alarm, which was corrected. So let's say the alarm went off, somebody accidentally pressed, you reset that, then you have to press actually the green one to reset the panel, and then you will get that green light. So what we will do, we show now main power supply fault. So I will disconnect the battery and let's see what happens. You will see it takes a moment. There's delay in that. It's not instant, but it will start beeping in a moment. Yeah, okay, it's starting. So it shows general fault and power supply fault. Now there's no point of resetting them, because even if you reset it and I don't fix the fault, okay, for a moment it will disappear, because okay, and it's back. So there's no point of resetting if you didn't fix the problem. You can silence. Oh, again, it's beeping, yeah? There's that single beep. And we can press the silence internal sounders, and it's still flashing here. It's not beeping anymore. So that's basically what it does. That's the silence internal sounder. And we're restoring the fault. I will put my key in, and I can reset whole thing and back. What? Didn't put the battery properly? No. Okay, battery is in. Yeah, now it clicked. You did hear it actually. So this was a battery fault. The same will happen if I disconnect mains power. It will be complaining. But you won't see the difference if the same LED will show up. Now we could disconnect this device and see zone 1, general fault. So device is missing. It could be fault, the general is missing, and that fault, obviously again you cannot restore the fault unless you put the device back. Device is back. You have to put the control. It's already, no it's not. And you reset it and it should be okay. So we saw the mains fault, power supply fault, device fault. There's also could be other types of faults on cables. Each line of detector or siren will have a end of the line device. And just to make it easy, I will remove end of the line device on one of the sounder lines. There's 4 of them. This one is connected. There's end of the line. Obviously it should be on the end, but because siren is directly connected here, I just have it here just because it's easy, but this should be in the device. So usually those cables would be regular fire cable, siren would be somewhere there, and end of the line device, in this case resistor, would be there. So if I disconnect one leg of this resistor on the fourth silent line, it will start complaining. And here we have, so again, general fault, and says sounder status. So there's a problem. Anytime there's any orange type of yellow light, there's a problem with something. So again, we have now a sounder fault. To fix it, there's no point of resetting panel. We have to first connect it properly. And in short, we have to fix the problem. Sometimes you don't have to reset the panel actually. When you fix the problem disappears. So far we had power supply problem, device problem, problem with the cable line or end of the line device, and that's how you can reset them. So again, you can silence the beeper, then you can reset when the problem is fixed. Another thing thing which you obviously want to know is what happens when the fire goes off. So I will trigger this brake glass unit with the key. We won't be pressing that. Okay. And you can see we have a fire. So there's no orange, yellow LEDs, there are red LEDs. There's a general fire and fire on zone 2, because zone 2 is that brake glass. Now nothing will happen if we cannot reset the fire alarm until the fire condition on the detector zone will be removed. So either there's no fire or brake glasses are all reset. So for a moment all I can do, I could reset the external sounders, but I cannot do this without the key. So I need the key, put the key in position 1, and that's my buzzer, which is silenced. But now it's will be beeping, most likely. So you can still see the fire condition because it wasn't restored. We see the obviously we go and go to around the building and identify the problem. That's our problem. So for us to reset it, we have to fix this one first. But I can try, okay, just to show you that it won't reset it. So I will reset it, and we're back where we were. Okay, so reset the panel, but then fire kicked in again. To reset it, we have to fix the problem, so there's no fire, all the brake glasses are reset properly, and once it's done, now you can reset the panel, and the fire condition is gone and not triggering again, and we can turn off the key to position 0, and panel is nice and quiet. And basically these are the most common things which you can do with the fire panel, more or less any fire panel, but in general the easiest thing is to work with conventional fire panels. From the user point of view, it will be the same, conventional or non-conventional. Usually you have those 3 buttons: silence the beeper, silence external sounders, and reset the panel. And some sort of access, either it's access code to reset the fire, or the key, or sometimes there's nothing actually for you to access those controls. but it may not let you, for instance, to reset the panel, but may let you just silence the sounders or something like that, or see what's happening. So general role of this panel is to detect faults on the system and raise alarm when the fire condition is somewhere in the building on one of those detector lines, either a manual or automatic one. This doesn't have to be one, it could be 20 of those devices. This panel has 2 zones, but it could be up to 8 zones if you buy a different version. So it could be quite a lot of places where the alarm, where those devices are, and alarm could be raised. The same with sounders. There's 4 sounder lines. So they should be spread evenly around the building, so everywhere the sound level is more or less the same. And then obviously there's an output. I'm not sure if I did show that. There's one indicator somewhere there for remote output, yeah. So in this panel, here are outputs, the relays. There are multiple outputs, but the one with relays are this. This is fault, this is for alarm mostly. So this would be connected to some sort of either intruder or some communication device connecting with monitoring station or something like that, so that a fire condition can be reported and let's say fire brigade can arrive to your place. Thank you. Hi, if you want to learn more about CCTV, fire alarms, intruder alarms, or if you want to become a security engineer, simply visit our website ipcamerahelper.com. Please subscribe also to our channel. Thank you.